Right? So what we try and teach our people is, first of all, one of the main reasons why we going through this, because we don't know who we are, right? So if I was to ask you, what's your nationality, what would you say? You would say African American, right? Why? Why you say African American?
That's what I was born to say.
Say it again?
That's what I was born to say, raised to say.
That was you was born and raised to say, right? And that's true right there, right? And I was taught I was African American. He was taught that. We always taught that black. Our parents was taught before that Negro and such on, right? So now we got to come to the realization that what does that really mean, though? African American. What does the name Africa mean? Where that come from?
Continent that we all supposed to.
It's a continent.
I mean, allegedly all.
Right, but what does that name mean, Africa?
I have no clue, sir.
Right. None of us know, right? The word Africa was named after a white man, Leo Scipios Africanus, right? During the Second Punic Wars, he defeated Hannibal, right? And then he named that land after himself. So now Africa was named after a white man. So now America, where that name come from? From another white man, right? Another white man. What's his name? Amerigo Vespucci, right? America was named after another white man, right? So now when you call yourself African American, what are you really calling yourself?
White.
Right, exactly. Right? Because you can't read about African American or nothing like that nowhere else, right? You can't read about that, right? So the question is, who are you? That's what we're trying to get our people to realize, right? Because if you ask a white man who he is, he'll probably tell you I'm German, I'm Dutch, right? I'm Italian, things like that. He's not gonna say, well, I'm American. No, they all got a background that they go back to. A Asian man, he's gonna tell you I'm Chinese, I'm Japanese, this, that, or whatever. I'm from Taiwan, right? They all go back to something, a dynasty. But what do we go back to?
Bring it out.
We let the white man tell our history.
Right, we don't know our history, right? Right, just go to give me that in Jeremiah chapter what's that? Discontinue. Right? 17:4. Give me that real quick. Right? Because if I was to ask you, what is your culture? Or what are the so-called African Americans? What is our culture? What would you say?
Hating each other.
Well, you say hating each other, right? But before that, before slavery, what was our culture? What was our holidays? What did we celebrate? Right? What did we call ourselves? What was our language? What is all that?
We had our own way of life.
Right, but what is it?
Freedom.
Say it again?
Freedom.
Well, you don't really know it, right? Watch this. Read that. Jeremiah 17, verse 4.
Bring it out.
Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage.
So something that the Lord told us that we were going to discontinue from our heritage, right? Which you can say we definitely did. Because when we say who we are, we go back to other people, to what other people told us, right? So we would discontinue from our heritage. Read.
That I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not.
So question, did that happen to us? We discontinue from our heritage, and then we serve an enemy in a land that we don't know not, right? So here in America, we serve our enemies, right? It's black people in London. Guess what they had to do? Serve their enemies. Right. We scattered all over the world, and we ain't the top nowhere on this planet. Right? We always serving somebody else. So the question is, why? Why are we on the bottom? Out of every nation on this planet that could be on the bottom, why is it us that's on the bottom? Not just us, the so-called blacks, the Hispanics, right? The so-called Native Americans, right? We serve. That's what we do. We go places and we serve, right? If you look at our people, anywhere you go dealing with our people, we on a serving class, right? You got our people sitting on the bottom. You got the other, the Hispanics, the same thing on the bottom, the Native Americans on the bottom, right? Why is that happening to us? What you say?
We let them do it to us.
You said we let them do it to us? Why? Because we weak? If 100 white dudes came in here in this neighborhood to fist fight 100 black dudes in this neighborhood, what you think would happen? The white boys will get set to flight. They'll get beat down up in here, right? That's for anybody. If you took 100 white boys to fight 100 Hispanics, the Hispanics will beat the hell out of them. Same thing with the Native Americans. They beat the hell out of them. They're not stronger than us, right? they sure not smarter than us because we built everything here, right? We think about neighborhoods and communities right now. Who build them neighborhoods and communities? Black people and Hispanic people, right? We the ones that build and construct everything, right? So the question is, how could a people that's physically stronger than everybody, that's mentally stronger than everybody, because we went through oppression, we went through slavery, right? That's still here. How could this people end up on the bottom? That's my question. What you say?
Or just anything in general, some of what the black people want, and they settle just for anything. It's not more of a physical thing. I feel like it's a mind thing.
Okay, all right, but you got to think about it. You know, when you go to certain countries like London, Dutch, and Netherlands, places like that, it's pictures of black men on castles, right? We used to rule most of the world at one time. So what got us to the point to where we went from being on top, rulers of the world, where people paid us taxes, to now we're on the bottom and we got to pay everybody else taxes, right? It's got to be something bigger than just we agreed to an agreement with the other nations and they just didn't fulfill the agreement. We was on top, right? I'm gonna show you what happened. I'm gonna show you why. And a lot of people, like you said, a lot of people, you're not really religious or into the scriptures, but the Bible is our history book. When I say when you discontinue from our heritage, this is our heritage right here.
That's right.
This is our story right here. This is who we are right here. King David, King Solomon, Moses, Joshua. That's us. These are our forefathers, right? When we had to learn about George Washington and Abraham Lincoln, right? That's they people. But when you read the Bible, it's talking about our people, right? And let me show you that something that our people, that God said through Moses about our people. Read that, Leviticus 26, verse 14.
Bring it out.
Leviticus chapter 26 and verse 14.
Get out.
But if ye will not hearken unto me, and will not do all these commandments, and if ye shall despise my statutes, or if your soul abhor my judgments.
So the Most High God was speaking to our people back then. It says, if you don't hearken to me, right? Meaning listen to the commandments, right? Thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not have no other God before thee, no idolatry, right? No envy, hatred amongst each other. It says, if you don't listen to these commandments, right? Read.
So that ye will not do all my commandments, but that ye break my covenant.
Read.
I also will do this unto you.
He says, if you don't keep my commandments and if you break the covenant that you made with me, he says, I'm going to do this to you. Read.
I will even appoint over you terror.
It says, I will appoint terror over you, right? Now think about what we deal with in the world today, right? You get pulled over by a cop, you don't know if you're going to make it home. Right? Ain't that something like terror? Them lights get behind you. It's like we in a police state right now. Right? What you was about to say? Right, it's like terror. Our neighborhoods, right? You know the reason why it's a lot of torn down buildings in these neighborhoods is because they want them to be that way so they can buy them back cheap, right? It's not a coincidence when these things happen like that, right? It's terror. We think about the music that we listen to, right? Just like on TikTok, they got that, I guess it's the What Up challenge. Every video you see where they got some songs say, what up? They up there shooting at each other. That's terror. That's terror that's been set over us for us being disobedient, right? That's what we live in. We live in a war zone every day. All these neighborhoods in Birmingham, I think still #1 nationally when it comes to murder, right? Birmingham, then you got, what's the other town that's in Alabama?
Mobile?
No, it's not Mobile. It's Bessemer. Bessemer. They like top 5 murder capitals of the world, of the United States right now, right? And you ask yourself why? Because we don't want to keep God's laws, statutes, and commandments. That's the reason why. So he said, I'm going to set terror over you, right? Not just to the blacks, but to the Hispanics, right? You got to think about that. They got a long ancestry of being kings, right? Building the pyramids, living as kings and things like that. And now what? Now they on the bottom just like we on the bottom. They got to serve just like we got to serve. You know why? It's because we stopped keeping God's laws, statutes, and commandments. and we went to other things, right? Keep reading.
I will even appoint over you terror, consumption, and the burning arrow that shall consume their eyes and cause sorrow of heart.
So think about that. It says terror, consumption, right? Look at these neighborhoods. Just look right here. You got a Burger King that's it's rotting away, right? You got dirty roads, dirty streets. It's probably crack pipes and stuff all back here. You know, people probably using the bathroom all over here, right? When you want to find the hood in any community, who gonna usually be living there?
Black people.
It's gonna be us, right? It's gonna be black people, or it's gonna be Hispanic people, right? That's the way it is right now. So you gotta ask yourself a question, right? Did God make good on his word? He did. He said, if you don't want to keep the commandments, all right, I'm gonna set over you terror, consumption, right? The burning egg, right? That's a lot of sicknesses that our people go through, right? What's the big drug in the street that's affecting all our people right now? It's fentanyl.
I was about to say that.
Right, you got fentanyl. I wouldn't even smoke marijuana now. They put fentanyl in everything, right? And that's killing our people. That's that burning egg. That's that disease that our people going through, right? All the STDs, HIV. Like, we put on a mask for COVID, but we still was hitting sisters raw.
Right.
Like, we ain't know AIDS was still out there. We got the mask on, hitting a sister raw. It don't make no sense, right? It's because we've been disobedient to the Father, right? All these things, right? But like that necklace you got on your neck. What is that a necklace of? What is that? Saint who? Where you can read about that? Say it again.
Hey,
okay. You know that's idolatry, right? They worship them saints and stuff like that, right? That's a form of idolatry, a form of worship, right? Let me show you something. Go to Habakkuk 2, verse 18. I'm gonna show you something. Just like with the crucifix, you know, people have crosses. People got crosses tattooed on their body, right? All them crosses that you see at the different church, it's all a form of idolatry, right? It's a form of worshiping another God. Nowhere in the Bible where you can hear anything about that, right? But for some reason, Catholics, they worship a lot of graven images. That's not biblical, right? Because most Hispanics are Catholic. They deal with Mother Mary. They deal with a lot of different saints and things like that, which you can never read about in the scriptures. Watch this.
Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 18. What profited the graven image?
So the question is, what's the profit from that graven image right there? How does it profit you?
Hey, I'll be back. What's up? Go nowhere.
I feel like it always supposed to enlighten.
Say it again.
It enlightens you.
You say it enlightens you, right? So since you start wearing it, you was a better person?
Oh, no, it don't make you a better person. It just makes you know what you got right.
So what's the research on?
St. Judas. I didn't do too much research.
It's all it is somebody that men worship. They worship those things above the Most High, right? Because if you worship the Most High, you worship the Creator, you will be doing what the Creator told you to do, right? You'll be keeping those commandments, right? But our people don't do that, but then they'll put a cross around their neck, right? Or they'll put a saint around their neck, or they have them in their little visors and stuff like that in their cars, right?
Like, don't believe Jesus, but you got a cross.
Exactly, right? So because if you worship the Most High God, the Creator, you would do what He say do, right? So now it lets you know that is a graven image. That's something that we put above God, right? Read that one more time.
Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 18. What profited the graven image that the maker thereof had graven it?
So it ain't no profit in that thing, right? There ain't no profit in that. Read.
The molten image and a teacher of lies.
And a teacher of lies, right? Because the saints in the Bible were the Israelites, right? Was that person an Israelite? I'm sure it wasn't, right? The only saints in the scripture, as a matter of fact, give me that. You know what I want? The only saints in the Bible are the Israelites, right? But for some kind of way, the Catholic Church that's run by the Roman Catholicism done tricked our people into thinking that the saints are white people. Watch this, read that.
Psalms chapter 148 and verse 14. He also exalted the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints.
So it says the horn of his people, which are the Israelites, the praise of his saints, read.
Even of the children of Israel.
It says even or indeed the children of Israel, right? So these are the only real saints of the Israelites. Not Romans or Italians and people like that they just say, I'm just going to say you're a saint. Nah, that's not biblical, right? So go back to Habakkuk. It says the graven image and a teacher of what?
And a teacher of lies.
So it teaches lies, right? You go and start researching that and you start believing some of that stuff. But those things be lies. It's not biblical. Right. It's a graven image. It's something for you to worship above worshiping God, right? Keep reading.
That the maker of his work trusted therein to make dumb idols. Woe unto him that said to the wood, awake, to the dumb stone, arise.
So it says to make dumb idols, right? That's what that is, a dumb idol. That, the pictures of Christ on the cross, these all dumb idols and stuff like that, right? So you know, if you really worship God and love God, you know what you do with that idol? Go to Deuteronomy 7. What's up, boss man?
What's going on?
Go back to Deuteronomy 7:25. All right, boss man. Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 25. The graven images of their gods.
Now look, it say the graven images of their gods, right? That's something that they came up with, right? The Romans came up with Catholicism. So far, the white man came up with that, right? The graven images of their gods, read.
Shall ye burn with fire?
Say you should burn with fire. I mean, you shouldn't have that thing, right? Keep reading.
Thou shalt not desire the silver or gold that is on them, nor take it unto thee, lest thou be snared therein. For it is an abomination to the Lord thy God.
So it says this is an abomination to God, right? It's something that God hate. God hate idols and idolatry, and that's one of the sins that we in right now today, right? That keep us in the position we're in. That keep terror pointed over us. That keeps the other people in power. Right? So a lot of times we talk to people about the word and then we ask the question, what you gonna do about what you just heard out the scriptures? About the graven images that we should fire. You shouldn't even bring an image into your house. What you gonna do about that? What decision you gonna make? You gonna choose? You got a choice. Like everybody say, we got free will. We got free will, right? So you got the freedom to say, I'm gonna keep God's commandments, or I'm gonna not keep God's commandments. What choice you gonna make? So what you gonna do with that medallion? Huh? You gonna sell it? Why? So somebody else can be in idolatry?
I might well profit off of it.
You said what now?
Might as well profit off of it. I can't live.
You might as well profit off of it. So you gonna cause somebody else to be in sin?
I'll get somebody who it belongs to, who they believe.
It's still sin. It's idolatry no matter what. It's a graven image, right? Give me that in Isaiah 30. What's verse 22? Read that.
Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 22. Ye shall defile also the covering of thy graven images of silver, and the ornament of thy molten images of gold. Thou shalt cast them away as a minstrel's cloth.
Nah, you gotta sell it and make a profit off of it.
Thou shalt cast them away as a minstrel's cloth.
You know what a minstrel's cloth is? It's like a tampon with blood on it. If you had one of that, you be trying to make money off of it. Now you throw that thing in the trash. You probably wouldn't want it to touch your hand. Right? That's the same thing God said you're supposed to do with those graven images. Read.
Thou shalt say unto it, get thee hence.
It says you should say to it, get away from me. That should be the mindset that we should have when we try to turn from wickedness to righteousness, right? But we so covetous, right? All we think about is money, 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 covetous. I need to get my money back, things like that. How much you may pay for that thing? $250. Dang, that's a lot to pay for an idol.
Well, actually, it was a gift. That's how much she paid.
Well, throw that damn thing away then. You still with her? Well, what is worth to you? It ain't nothing but an idol.
Right, it's just some decoration.
Right, but you holding on to it.
Right.
Right? So it's saying you making a choice. You see what I'm saying? You making a choice. Right? I used to love messing with different women, but I had to make a choice. Am I going to continue to live in sin, or am I going to keep God's commandments? Right? Just like the brothers that's out here gang banging and stuff like that. Right? You ask the question, hey, bro, once you put them flags down, right? Once you put your set down, bro, and just live right. And he's like, well, you know, that's all I know. That's what I was born with. It's the same thing. It's sin that got control over you, right? But the scripture says you're supposed to throw that thing away. But you ain't going to throw it away.
Start weighing.
You know what I mean? It is what it is. The Bible say what it say.
Hey, start weighing. That's the start, though.
Nah, throw it away. You can't make a song. Give me that in Psalms 160 in verse 59. 119 verse 59. I'm sorry. 119 verse 59. Read that real quick. I'm going to show you. Because a lot of times we say so, like the brother that was just up here, he was just like, you know, where I've been kind of looking into it. I've been doing this, I've been doing that. It's like, how long are you going to look into it? Right? Watch this. Read that.
Psalms chapter 119 and verse 59. I thought on my ways.
It said, I thought on my ways, right? You just found out that that's evil, right? You like, right now in your head, you going like, dang, I've been going against God this whole time, wearing this idol around my neck, thinking it means something, right? So I thought on my ways. Read.
And turn my feet unto thy testimonies.
And you turn your feet into what the Bible actually says, right? You think on your ways and you say, this ain't right. Let me turn my feet to the right path. Read.
I made haste.
I did what?
I made haste.
I made haste. I mean, I was quick about this thing, right? I made haste. Read.
And delayed not to keep thy commandments.
That's the mindset that we got to have, right? We find out we doing wrong. We got to make haste and don't delay to keep the commandments of God, right? But like if I say, hey, man, look, I just dropped the package at your front door, you know, we got $1 million in it. You need to hurry up and get there. You'll be gone right now. You'll be in your car, or on your bike, or on your feet. You'll be at your house right now, right? Right? But what about your salvation? Why we put that over our salvation? And not just our salvation, but you put it over your people, right? Because your sin caused other people to sin, right? We got to be thinking about other things, right? Look at the police roll through. Look, there's always something going on in our communities, in our neighborhoods. Ain't you tired of that? Well, when you going to make the choice to move from sin to righteousness?
Well, it's a step every day.
It's a step every day. You can make a step right now.
Right.
You can make a positive step right now. You can take that dang chain off and throw it in the gutter somewhere. You can make that change right now if you want to. Right? But if you choose not to, then, hey, everything that's going on, all the evil and wickedness that's going on, that means you okay with it. Because God said for not hearkening to him, he set what over us? He said, I will set what over them? What word he used? Terror. Right? That's the reason why we're going through it, because of disobedience, right? And your disobedience don't just affect you. It affects our nation as a whole. My disobedience won't just affect me. It affects the nation as a whole. When we went into slavery, did we go in as one person, or did a whole nation of people go to slavery? Right. Right? So the sins of some made many to suffer.
And you know, it's still this way today. One black person do something, look at the other.
Right. So right now you in the midst of idolatry. So God looking at me too. God looking at this brother too. God looking at the people in this community too. It's like, man, these people just don't get it. Right? The brother know that's an idol around his neck. Why don't he just throw the damn thing away? He ain't paid not $1 for it. right? But the scripture says that all our people are given to covetousness. We all want money. We all want something, right? Go to Matthew chapter 6. I'm gonna show you what we really should want when we talk about money or reward or prize or treasure. It's something that we really should want, but we really don't want. Matthew 6, start at verse 20, I think 22. Where you at? You at 28. That's Matthew 6. Or one more. That's not Matthew 6. Matthew 6, start at verse. Yeah, start at verse 19. Yeah, my bad. Read.
Matthew chapter 6 and verse 19. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth.
So the Bible says, don't try and lay up for yourself treasures on earth. Right? That right there, that's an earthly treasure. Right? What's in your bank account? That's an earthly treasure. Right? It says, don't try and lay up earthly treasures. That's what's wrong with our people. We want earthly treasures. We think this our kingdom right here. We think that one day we gonna wake up and black people ain't gonna be looked at as niggas, right? We think that one day. We think that one day the white man gonna save us and have us on top. We think that one day we ain't gonna be in the projects or in the hood or in the ghetto no more. That's that American nightmare they done sold all our people, right? It says, don't lay upon yourself treasures on earth, read.
Where moth and rust do it corrupt.
It says moth and rust corrupted, right? They got people they got drug dealers with money in their basements and in their attic. And guess what? Rats eat it, right? Moths can eat the money. It get mildew and everything. All this metal and stuff, it corrodes. It gets rusty, right? It says don't worry about them kind of treasures, read.
And where thieves break through and steal.
It says thieves do what?
Break through and steal.
Because you could be walking somewhere, leave right from here. Somebody snatch it off your neck.
Right.
Like they do in Florida. I'm Mr. Chain Snatcher. Right? You know what I'm talking about, that crazy dude. Guess what? They got people that die over a chain, over idolatry that's around their neck. The Jesus piece. Right. The platinum Jesus. They got people that die because of that. Right? And our people will gladly put it around and think it's going to bring them some type of glorification, gonna bring us some type of wealth, gonna bring us some type of spiritual healing or something like that. It don't. It ain't gonna bring you nothing but destruction. Right? It said thieves can steal that thing. Read.
But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven.
It says, but you should lay up for yourself treasures in heaven. Right? And you know how you lay up them treasures in heaven? By keeping God's laws, statutes, and commandments. By being obedient, right? The word said, throw the damn thing away, right? By being obedient to the word, guess what? You stack a brick in heaven, right? But right now, you stacking your bricks here with something that don't even mean nothing. You can't even do nothing with that, right? You can't buy no food with that. You can't buy a car with that, right? Nothing you can do with it. You can't pay your rent with that. You can't get your lights on with that. Right? You just wear it around your neck just because. Right? Because it look good. Read it one more time.
But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal.
Guess what? Can't nobody take that treasure that you lay up for yourself in heaven. They can't take it away from you. Right? You could be living on the bottom here, the worst conditions. You keeping God's laws, statutes, and commandments, that kingdom that's to come, guess what? You ain't gotta worry about nobody taking that away from you. But you have to worry about somebody taking that from you. You see what I'm saying? So it's decisions that we gotta make. And when we make the wrong decisions, it's the reason why our people in the conditions they in, brother. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to let you know it's a reason. You know, you ain't take the strongest, smartest people on the planet, right? And bring them from one part of the earth all the way to the other part of the earth. You got 8-10 white people on the boat with thousands of us on the boat. Right. And some kind of way, we didn't take over. Right. It was God that did that. Right. You know why? Because of our disobedience. That's the reason why. Right? And our people still disobedient. Right? Get that Zechariah chapter, is it 7:11?
Yes, sir.
Give me Zechariah 7 verse 11. The Most High God gonna keep putting us on the bottom. He gonna keep hurting us. He gonna keep torturing us. He gonna keep our communities the same way until our people decide to wake up. Read that.
Zechariah chapter 7 and verse 11. but they refuse to hearken.
It says our people refuse to hearken. Just like right now, you refusing to hearken, right? You think of it as a small thing. Like, man, it ain't no big deal. I got the chain around my neck. It's a little thing. It ain't a small thing.
Right.
It says, yet they refuse to hearken. Read.
They refuse to hearken and pulled away the shoulder.
And we stop hearing sometimes, right? When these laws come out on how to correct yourself, our people stop hearing it, right? Just like even that with you, like we was talking to our sisters about dress code, but like, sister, you can't be dressing like a hoe. You got to put on a dress, right? Or a skirt, something modest, right? Our sisters don't want to hear that. Our people, we refuse to hearken. We start talking about smoking. Hey, you got to start smoking. You got to put the weed down, brother. They be like, man, I ain't about to start smoking weed, you know, but then at the same hand, they be complaining about the situation that they live in. Like, man, we staying over here in the hood while they over there in this neighborhood and they in that neighborhood, right? The reason why it's happening is because we don't want to keep the commandments of God, right? It says they refuse to hearken, they turn away the shoulder, they pull away the shoulder, read.
And stop their ears.
And they stop their ears, read.
That they should not hear. Yea, they made their hearts as an adamant stone.
They make their heart like stone, meaning this is what I'm gonna do, and it is what it is, right? That's what our people do. They're like, hey, like I hear all that you talking, but this is what I'm gonna do, and I ain't about to turn from what I'm about to do, right? That's the mindset our people have. The scripture said that we are rebellious people. We're the most rebellious people on the planet. Right? Because the answer to all our solutions could be right in front of your face, but we'll be like, I don't want to do that though. Like you right now, you know you choosing violence. Yeah, it is. That's violence to the Most High God. If you're a little kid and your dad tell you to do something, you say no, you chose violence. And you probably gonna lose if your pops come in there swinging the belt, right? So you gotta think about what you're telling the Most High. You ain't telling me nothing. I didn't write this in the Bible. I'm just saying that, hey, this is what God said to do, and this is what we should do. But when you tell God, when God give you a commandment and you show him your ass, you chose violence, right? Right? You chose violence. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. God hate those different things. What you got for me? Proverbs 8. Read that for me real quick. You choosing violence, bro. You like telling God, man, I ain't listening to you. Read that.
Proverbs chapter 8 and verse 36. But he that sinneth against me wrongeth his own soul.
It says you wrong your own soul. You destroying yourself by doing that. Read.
All they that hate me love death.
It said you love death. You choose violence. You choose violence. Them young dudes that's out here talking about something, what up, and shooting up the neighborhood. Guess what they doing? They hate their own soul and they love death because they choosing violence. And guess what? When you go against God's words, you doing the exact same thing.
Right.
Choosing violence, bro. I'm trying to tell you.
Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you.